Okay, today we're going to be on section 11.1, which is areas of a parallelogram. If you remember right, a parallelogram is an object that looks like that. Opposite sides are parallel. The area of a parallelogram is base times the height, but understand the height has to be the vertical line that drops. Let's say you have something that looks like this, and you are trying to find the area of it. Let's say you're trying to find the perimeter as well. Perimeter, remember, is the distance all the way around. So if this is 18 and this is 12, we've got 24 plus 36. So I would have a perimeter of 60. But let's go back to the area. Somehow I have to find the measurement of x. I can either use trig or I can use special case triangles. If I use trig, I'm standing here, so I need to know opposite and I know hypotenuse. So if you remember right, that would be the sine of 60 is equal to x over 12. I would multiply both sides by 12, and I would find out that x is equal to 10.4. Or I could use special case triangles. And I know the hypotenuse, and remember on special case triangles on a 30, 60, 90, the side opposite 30 is x, the side opposite 60 is x on the square root of 3, and the hypotenuse is 2x. So in this particular situation, 12 is equal to 2x, x is equal to 6. So this height right here would be 6 on the square root of 3, which is the same as 10.4. So now I'm over here to find the area. I take 10.4 times your base, which is 18, and that gives me an area of 187.1. So many times they ask you for both the perimeter and the area. Now you try one. My suggestion is you stop the video and then come back and make sure you got the right answer. Remember, area is always inches squared or meters squared, it's units squared. So do this problem, find the perimeter and find the area. All right, the perimeter would be 32 times 2, which is going to be 64, plus 24 times 2, which will be 48. So the perimeter here is going to equal 112 inches. The area is equal to the base, which is 32, times the height, which we don't know yet. So we got to figure out the height. Again, if you wanted to, you could do it based on trig, and you could say, I know I'm looking for the adjacent, and I know the hypotenuse. So the cosine of 30 degrees is equal to h adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 24. So h is equal to 24 times the cosine of 30, which is going to be 20.8. I'm guessing that you're using trig. I will also tell you, I know I'm talking fast, but I have a limit of 20 minutes on my camera to record it, and it automatically breaks off. So, so you're going to have on this one 32 times 20.8. So you're going to have an area of 665.1 inches squared. So you would give me that, and you would give me that. You're also going to turn around and put this on a coordinate plane. So let's say we have A is equal to -4, -3. B is equal to 2, -3. And C is equal to +4, -6. D is equal to -2, -6. On a coordinate plane, if I put them in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. This is A. And B is 2, negative 3. And then I have, oh, I'm gonna have to go farther, okay, because this is down to negative 6. Okay, let me start again on that one, redraw it. I'm gonna scoot up here. That's A, B, C, and D. So here is my parallelogram. So I actually, on this particular one, I can figure out the base because it's the distance from negative 2 to positive 4, which is 6, and I can figure out the height, which is going to be from negative 6 to positive, or to negative 3, which is going to give me a height of 3. If I couldn't do it that way, I would have to do it using the distance formula. So the very first thing that I do is I make sure it's a parallelogram, so I check the slope, make sure that the opposite sides have the same slope. And then they sometimes ask, is it a parallelogram? Is it a square? Is it a rectangle? Now, you probably can tell on this particular one, it's not going to be a square and it's not going to be a rectangle. Your corners would have to have slopes of opposite reciprocals for them to be a square or a rectangle. On this one, I can tell right off the way it's graphed that it's not. So I can find the area of this. Well, actually, I think it's just asking for, just asking for the area. So area is equal to 6 times 3, or 18. Okay, now you try one, and then come back to the video. All right, and I've got to graph this. Negative 2, 3 in A. B is 4, 1. C is 3, negative 2. And D is negative 3, 0. Now, again, I'm asking if it's a parallelogram, whether it's a square, whether it's a rectangle. So I'm looking, I'm going to go, it's not a square unless I've graphed it really wrong, but it could be a rectangle. So I want to find the slope of these two. And when I find, I'm going to do the slope all the way around. The slope of AB is 1, negative 3. The slope of DC is also negative 1/3, so I know those two are parallel. The slope of AD is 3. Now you should have the slope formula in your calculator. If not, you can do it by hand. If you have questions on that, you need to text me and let me know. Okay, and the slope of that one is 3. So I know it's a parallelogram. I also know, looking at these corners, these are opposite reciprocals of each other. So this is a rectangle, okay? So I've got that done out. But then I've got to find the height and the base. The base would be across here, so I'm going to use the distance formula. And I find the distance there, the distance from D to C, is going to be 6.3 when I plug it into the distance formula. Again, should be on your calculator. If not, let me know. And remember, it's the difference in the x's squared plus the difference in the y squared, and that's all underneath the square root. And then from A to D would be the height of it, because that's a 90-degree angle. So the height from A to D is 3.2, using the distance formula to get that. So the area is equal to 6.3 times 3.2. And that's going to give me an area of 20.2 units squared. Make sure you can get that by doing the same thing that I did, okay? All right. Let's do one more of those. I think I still have time before it clicks off. That's kind of a big one. Actually, I think I'll go ahead and just give you your homework on this, okay? Otherwise, the video is going to click off and we'll have to do 2 videos. On page 598 through 599, 10 through 28 even, and that would be due Thursday or tomorrow by noon. Now, if you have questions and you struggle, just take a picture of it and I will work it out for you and send it back if we want to do it that way, or you can just send your homework in and I'll work it out next to it and you can leave it blank on that question. So just let me know. I know we kind of rushed through this, but I'm going to see if I can't override the time limit on my camera somehow. All right.